Hi guys, welcome to another card trick here at Totally Magic. It's all about mind reading, illusion. And if you're into that kind of thing and card tricks, why not check out this guy here, his channel, Robert Ball, Magician. He's got some great card tricks. In fact, he's done a great variation of one of the tricks we did quite recently. Go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below and also a link at the end of the video to his channel. Have a look at him. He does some fantastic presentations and it certainly is worth subscribing as well. Robert Ball, Magician. On to the trick today. We are doing another mind reading trick. People love these. You introduce a deck of cards as usual and you say to somebody, we're going to be slightly different. We're not going to get you to take a card physically. We're going to get you to just think of a card. Keep it in your mind, a virtual version of your card. And they have a choice of any of the cards from the pack. Now, having a virtual card is all well and good. The problem is you don't physically have any record of that card that you are thinking of. So you need a receipt, just like you would if you bought something physically. I'm going to turn around and whichever card you're thinking of, I want you to take that value of cards from here and hide them away. Now if you've got a wallet or a back pocket, then put them in there so I can't see them. If you haven't, then you can use this envelope here. Remember, the Jack, Queen and King are 11, 12 and 13. You as a magician would look away and have your back to them. They would then take the number of cards that they are thinking of in value. Okay? They will hide those away. Once they've done that, I shall turn back around and say to them, you're now thinking of one card. In fact, one card from this deck of cards you're actually thinking of. What I'd like you to do now, as you can see, we have different colours, red and black. We also have different suits, clubs, spades, diamonds, but I'm sure you know that. What I'd like you to do is I'm going to turn my back one more time. If your card was a red card, take 2 cards and hide them away. If it was a black card, take 4 cards and hide those away. I shall turn my back. So you now turn away and the spectator will take the number of cards relevant to the one they're thinking of. And once again, they will hide them away. As I turn back around, I say to them, you're thinking of a card, hopefully not the Joker, but one of the cards you've got. We have a receipt. I'd like you to give that to your friend to hold on to. You see, I'm going to split the pack roughly about halfway. I think that's about half. I just want you to look for the card that you now have in your mind. Do you see the vision of your card among these? You don't. I'm going to attempt to read your mind in that case. Now you, sir, you're holding his receipt. I believe you have enough cards in there to remove 4. Their friend will remove 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. That tells me that the card you're thinking of is a black card. I believe that the number of cards in here, you got enough to remove 5. They will then remove 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And there's nothing else in there. You're thinking of a 5. I see the card that you're thinking of is the 5 of clubs. So here's the secret to this thinker card or mind reading card trick. It's very simple and it has multiple outcomes. I leave you to decide how you reveal it. You can either remove their card, you can just call it out as I did, or write it down or do some sort of mystical revelation, but that's up to you. How do you know what cards someone's thinking of? Remember, you had your back turned, they took a certain number of cards, they didn't even tell you which suit, and yet you were able to read their thoughts, or so it would seem. Well, it's actually quite simple. The cards are stacked. This is a stacked deck of cards. Now, I'm using what's known as the Cy Stebbins stack, and it's a favourite of mine. I know a lot of people go on about, oh, people will recognise it. Trust me, in 40 odd years of me using this, I can't recall anybody I've performed to that recognise that. Don't get me wrong, magicians will, and I'm sure some of you will, but the layperson, they're not going to notice. If you've got your own stacking system, then use that, but I use the Cy Stebbins. If you haven't come across Cy Stebbins stack, I put a link at the end of this video to a tutorial on how to set up the Cy Stebbins. This is in that order, okay? This is a Cy Stebbins order. What I'm going to do is, with this, is you introduce the cards. You can cut them because there's nothing to hide, and all I'm looking for is this bottom card, because I need to know what the top card is. Okay, not the suit, just the value. I know that the top card is a 6, and it is. Okay, you can look if you want to. It makes no difference. Let's say if I cut again, I know that it's going to be a king on top. There it is. That's all you've got to know. You turn the cards face down, and you then look away and ask them to take the number of cards. Now let's say that they were thinking of a, I don't know, the 7 of diamonds. So they would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They would hide those away. Now this is the thing, when you turn back you say, look, you're thinking of a card, hopefully not the Joker. All I'm doing here, remember the top card was a king. What I'm looking for is the next king down. And there it is there. Because as I'm going through and saying you are thinking of any card out of here, what you need to do is to count how many cards appear after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now there's 6 of them. Now you deduct that from 13 because there's 13 cards in each suit. So whichever number there, you subtract it, which gives you 7. So 6 from 13 leaves 7. So straight away I know at this early stage that they're now thinking of one of the 7s. What I'll also do now is I then talk about the colours. I leave them on here and say you got red and black, clubs, hearts, spades, etc. I'm sure you know them, blah blah blah. What I know is that there's a spade at the top. Okay, you turn these over, you'll notice they're all messy. It just looks more convincing that you don't care about the order of the cards. You then say to them, I turn my back, I want you to take 2 cards if it's a red card and 4 if it's a black card. If they took 4 cards, then there will be another spade on top. Let me just show you that. If they took 4 cards, like this, when you turn back around and pick up these, all you've got to do is just glance at that top card. If it's a spade, like it was before, you know they've taken 4 cards. You know their card is a black card, a club or a spade. Yeah. If, however, they only took 2 cards to say it was a red, which is what we want because we're making believe it's 7 of diamonds, so they took 2 cards. When I casually turn these over and say, look, what we're going to do is to separate these into 2 packets. What I do is I glance up here, and because I can see it's not a spade, that means they only took 2 cards. Okay. So I now know they're thinking of a 7, and it's either going to be the diamonds or hearts. That's all the information I need. As you go through the cards, you look. Now I can see there's a 7 here, and there'll be another 7 in the other half. The way the Cy Stebbins is set out, when you split the deck in half, you will always have either a red 7 in here and 1 in here. You wouldn't have 2 in the same half. As simple as that. Sometimes you might have a 7 in here and not in here because it might be among these cards on the table. It doesn't matter. Just look for the 7s. Now it just so happens on this occasion there's a 7 here, a red 7, and if I split the cards there's a red 7 here. So in this case what I'll do is I can ask them which packet do you want to look at. If they said this, I will spread these. Now they will look. Now if they say no to their card being there, well, we got the 7 of hearts there. That means their card is the 7 of diamonds. That's all there is to it. So you can reveal it in any way you want. Or if they said, if I spread this and they said yes it is, then you know it's a 7 of hearts. It's either going to be one or the other. Okay, and that's it. Now if you do this trick, and for example, let's just for this example, the 7 of hearts was among these, okay, and they'd chosen the 7 of hearts. When you go through, I can't see any red 7s apart from this one. I will cut the pack. Okay, always spread the one that's got the 7 in, the red 7 or whatever card it is, not the ones that doesn't have any. Because if they say yes it's there, you know it's the 7 of diamonds. If they say no, you know it's going to be the 7 of hearts. Now because I can't see the 7 of hearts in here as well, then my revelation will be me just telling them that it's a 7 of hearts that they are thinking of, and it's a great wow factor. All the thing with the receipts, if you watch a performance, you don't have to get them to remove them. I actually find that quite good if you give it to somebody else to do, because they don't know how many cards are in there, so it's like a bit of a shock for everyone where as they pull out the cards and they're just the right number of cards. I quite like that receipt idea. You might not worry about that. You might just reveal the card straight off. Have a play around with it. I think it works well. Remember, once you've got used to what you've got to do with the sidestepping stack, once you spread them once, you're just counting to see which card value they took, a 10, a 7, a 5. Then when they take 2 or 4 cards, that will tell you which colour. So you've now narrowed it down to just 2 cards because you know the value and you know it's either a heart or a diamond or a club or a spade. Split the pack, spread them, they say yay or nay, and you can then reveal it in any way you like. As I said, the trick is just something that I came up with, a little idea. I'm sure you'll improve on it and maybe pinch a few ideas, make your own routine up, but hopefully you'll find some usage in that. Don't forget, check out the link to Cy Stebbins' stack at the end, and also check out Robert Ball and his video on the mind reading trick that he did recently. But look at all his other tricks as well. There's some great performances. Till next time, practice and enjoy.